Welcome back to Good Morning Arizona. Time now is 9:07. Research shows that optimistic people live longer, are less likely to be depressed, and are even at a decreased risk for cardiovascular disease. All good stuff, right? So as parents, what can we do to raise our kids so they become adults who benefit from this positive outlook? Put it on our list of to-dos, right? Clinical child psychologist Dr. Maylin Griffiths is joining us this morning with some strategies. And she says it all begins with kind of challenging the negative self-talk. And I imagine that's both with adults as parents and also our kids' habits as they maybe mimic us.
Absolutely. That's what we find. The more that we practice this skill for our kids, the more we start doing it ourselves. And so we really want to challenge our negative self-talk by asking ourselves three very big questions.
Okay.
So we want to think about a negative event as just being temporary, as being not involving our entire life. And it's not just about us. Everybody's probably going through a similar negative experience as well. And so we want to think about it's just short term, it's going to pass, and it doesn't affect our whole life.
Okay, that's very useful for adults as well. I'm going to write all of this stuff down and take it home to practice myself. We think about kids a lot of times as because their worlds are smaller, they can't kind of see past themselves, right?
Yeah.
We expect them to be a little bit more selfish, and we understand that. But you're saying really kind of broaden their scope of the way they look at things, and it'll help them adjust better.
Absolutely, yeah. So we want to get kids to think about, what is this trying to teach me? So if I run into a negative event, is this trying to teach me to be more calm? Maybe I need to practice more. Maybe I need to study harder. Maybe it's just not something that I'm very good at, and so I need to try to do something different. And it doesn't really take over their whole life. It's just a different way of thinking about it. And one of the things we love about optimism is that you can learn it, you can teach it, you can get better at it. So we always pick skills that are things that you can get better at, you can enhance, and you can change.
So I like that you say that, because I would think of optimism as kind of an innate trait, like they're an optimistic person or a pessimistic person, but we can really create optimistic people.
Absolutely. When we practice those three different things, thinking something's just temporary, it's not just about me, and I know that it's not affecting my whole life, we can change the way that we think about optimism and about negative events.
So with Raising Character, you're kind of reaching out to families and giving them these skills, both in person and through counseling sessions and tape?
Yeah, so most of it actually is through social media. So on our Instagram account, we feature a new character skill every week. So this week we're doing hope, and next week we'll talk about drive, and so we look about how we can take drive into action, and we've done persistence and all those different really important character skills. And then on the website, raisingcharacter.com, we actually have character courses that parents can take. They're very short, they're 15 minutes, because I know we're all short on time. So they're 15 minutes, and they're loaded full of skills so that we can start teaching these character skills to our kids.
So the negative self-talk, I mean, I think we are in patterns where we're kind of used to being critical or putting everything in kind of a dramatic tone, maybe. So can you give me an example of sort of how to reframe a conversation when you're talking with your kids?
Absolutely. So we get in this habit sometimes of just looking at the negative or what's not going well, and it's a really big mind shift, but when you do it, it's incredible.
Okay.
So for example, if I said something like, oh, you're always running late and you're never on time and I'm so frustrated.
You never listen to me.
You never listen. The positive of that might be saying, gosh, you seem so much less stressed when you're on time. Right? Oh man, we have such great conversations when we're listening to one another. So it's happening anyways, we're just taking the positive of that. You know, the other one is, your room's always a mess and you can never find anything in here. And so I might go in and just say something like, it's so much easier to find your things when your room is clean. So just looking at different ways to flip that around.
Oh, you just got to take a beat and be creative, right? And I imagine it becomes more naturally when you're trying to get into the habit of communicating this way.
And then you just become more optimistic in a way of looking at things. And what we see, as I mentioned, is as I start doing it, your kids will start picking up on it too. Who do you find has the harder time with grasping some of these concepts to make this positive change? Obviously, people who are coming to your website and coming to you want to do the very best job they can parenting. Absolutely.
But is it harder to make changes as adults, or is it harder to make changes as kids?
You know, I think if kids are just around that environment, it's just something that they pick up. I can tell you there's nothing better than seeing a kid run into a problem and go, what is this trying to teach me?
Wow.
And I know if I talk to their parent, it's because they've been saying that at home. What is traffic, sitting in traffic in the morning, what is that trying to teach me? It's trying to teach me to calm down or to take a break. And if I get in the longest line at the grocery store, instead of getting really frustrated, I might say, what is this really long line trying to teach me right now? It's trying to teach me to be patient, or maybe we have more time to talk while we're waiting in line. And so it's just really great when you then see a kid get into a really stuck problem, or they don't make the team, or they do bad on a test, and instead of getting really upset or internalizing it, they just sit and say, it's temporary, it's gonna pass, other kids didn't do so well either, and I know that this is trying to teach me something.
And maybe plenty of successful people have been through these kinds of disappointments as well, right?
Yeah, yep, I'm not the first person to do bad or not make the team.
I love that. Okay, these are great practices. So raisingcharacter.com is the website.
That's
it. I mean, just good conversations to have with your kids, like how can we focus on this or that?
Absolutely.
Love it.
Yeah, I even put up a free optimistic guide. So if they want to go there, there's a free guide for how to do it.
I am feeling more optimistic about my parenting potential already after the conversation. Dr. Maylene Griffiths, thank you so much.